Hello, everyone. On today's IRS Tax Refund Update, as we continue to monitor the latest developments, the latest batch of direct deposit refunds have been released and transmitted to the IRS to bank accounts, so we'll take a look at that, and what to do if you've not received that refund on the scheduled deposit date. As more tax returns are processed, we're getting additional reports of adjusted refunds, so we'll take a look at some of the key reasons behind that. And a number of our viewers are reporting no updates to their tax transcripts or refund status results, while others are encountering the 970 and 571 codes. Starting off with developing news, as the latest batch of tax refunds have been released and transmitted by the IRS to bank accounts for those who are part of the February 23rd batch. Now, while a number of taxpayers who actually received that direct deposit early, today we have seen a significant amount of viewers who had their direct deposits posted to accounts such as Chime, Credit Karma, Chase, and Bank of America. Please do allow up until February 28th for that direct deposit to post to your bank account before initiating a payment trace. Now, if you're part of this latest batch or any future batch of refunds and do not receive it within the appropriate time frame, you will want to initiate a payment trace with the IRS to locate that refund. You can use the IRS automated line at the phone number listed here to file a payment trace. You can speak to an IRS phone representative, or you can complete Form 3911 as seen here and either fax or mail it back to the IRS. At this time, the IRS does not allow this form to be uploaded electronically. Also, for those married filing jointly, they cannot use the automated line to file a payment trace. A common occurrence we saw last year and even this year for some not receiving that direct deposit as scheduled was an issue with their bank account, mainly the wrong account number listed on the tax return or the account was closed after filing that return. If that is the case, the direct deposit will be returned to the IRS as rejected, at which point they will mail you out a check to your address on file, usually in 3 to 4 weeks. In addition, they will send you this notice, the CP53 letter, informing you of what has happened. As more returns are processed and released, come additional reports now of reduced and adjusted refunds. Sometimes the amounts can be so significant that the taxpayer goes from expecting a refund to now owing the IRS. The main reasons we've seen for these reduced refunds, including past due child support, past due state income tax debt, and unemployment debts owed to the state. Now, the IRS will detail exactly what was the reason for your refund adjustment in the form of a letter which will appear as code 971 on your tax transcript. We're also continuing to hear from viewers about no updates to their tax transcripts and our refund status results, and this appears to have become a more frequently reported problem over the last 2 weeks. Now, the IRS does advise it may take up to 4 weeks to see an update on your tax transcripts after filing, so for your early filers, that is 4 weeks from January 23rd or the date you filed your taxes, whichever is later. Since the IRS does not process those returns before January 23rd, any update before that does not count. Now, we're at the 4-week mark, so we should be seeing an update fairly soon. Now, in terms of those refund status results, we're seeing exactly what we saw last year with Where's My Refund not providing the most up-to-date information. Even this year, we've heard from those who have already received their refunds who say their refund status results show that their tax return is still processing. So again, the IRS has not specifically indicated what the technical issue is causing this, but it is advised for you to rely on information from your tax transcripts more than Where's My Refund status results. The two most common tax transcript codes being encountered so far this year are the 570 and 971 codes. Now, if you're seeing these codes on your tax transcripts, you will fall into one of two categories. For those seeing those codes with the same date, that means the IRS has automatically corrected any issue they encountered while processing your tax return and have cleared your refund for processing and release. Now, it is expected you will see an adjusted refund as a result. If you see the 570 and 971 codes with two different dates listed, that means the IRS is continuing to work on your tax return and further processing is necessary. There's no way to identify what the issue could be, but based on viewer feedback, it is further examination of credits being claimed, such as EITC, which may result in documentation requests, the need for ID verification, or wage verification to match what you entered versus what your employer submitted. On the topic of ID verification, we're seeing more and more of those 5071C letters like seen here, requesting a taxpayer to complete ID verification. If your tax return is on hold due to ID verification, remember verifying your identity is the first step. The second step that many of those may forget is answering those tax return questions. So you will need a copy of your tax year 2022 return available when completing this process. And on the topic of audits, a percentage of those claiming EITC will in fact be audited, which will result in a documentation request by the IRS, which will be detailed in the CP75 notice. Documentation requested could be providing your relation to the dependent, which oftentimes is a birth certificate, to providing the dependent resided with you for a certain period of time, which can be demonstrated through school records or medical records that list the same residential address as you. Let us know in the comment section below about your ongoing tax return and refund issue. In the meantime, we'll keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.